That's the dumbest thing that I've heard amongst a bunch of dumb things.
I just want to.
No, wait. It reads, is George Floyd worse for society than Destiny? Not, is the legacy of George Floyd worse for society than the legacy of Destiny?
Yeah,
if you say the legacy of Derek Chauvin's worse for society than Destiny, but you wouldn't say that Derek Chauvin's worse for society than Destiny, then the same argument would apply to George Floyd. You lose the debate.
Oh, that's it, bro.
George Floyd's legacy.
Yes, we just got done saying, you're saying the prompt doesn't say legacy, it says the person. You said that Derek Chauvin's legacy is worse for society than Destiny, but Derek Chauvin is not. If you're not
looking at the legacy or the things that they've done to affect the effect of society around them, well, then guess what, buddy? You lose so badly because the guy that is just a bit of a sexual deviant and has a couple civil suits against him, way better than the guy that ran around slinging coke and robbing people, putting guns up to pregnant women's bellies, unless you're telling me that that's a better person. I mean, I don't know where your moral set is. I don't think you're an ortho bro, Rob. So I'm not 100% sure where your moral set is on that. I don't know if it's an objective thing given by God where they have to turn over your own. I don't know what metric to use for you. Maybe a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Is a more serious infringement on society than getting a BJ by another dude or giving a BJ to another
Alderson, can I ask you a question right now? So if Floyd never passed, do you think that he would be worse for society than Destiny?
Then the effect would not have taken place, and no, he would not.
Wow, you're so bad at this. So let me tell you what, Marte, great question. So what you just said was, when I pointed out, let's go step by step with what just happened. You said, look, Derek Chauvin's legacy is worse than Destiny. But if the question was, is Derek Chauvin worse for society than Destiny, then the answer is no. And when I say, well, notice that
I didn't debate that.
Let me finish. I said, notice the prompt says, is George Floyd worse for society than Destiny? Not, is George Floyd's legacy worse for society than Destiny? You counter this by saying, yes, but can't you see George Floyd was this drug addict and he was this terrible person and blah, 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 blah. Is he worse from society than Destiny? Then Marte, what was the question you just asked?
I said, if George Floyd never died, would he be worse than Destiny?
You then say no. He wouldn't be. Thereby refuting the previous thing that you just refuted everything.
Let me finish. I'm too crucible, so you might have some of that.
Let me finish, and then I promise. Let me finish.
Hold on, Ben.
I promise you can finish. I'm wrapping up. So you say, well, if it was just no legacy, if it's just the person, then George Floyd, the person, is worse than Destiny. And then Marte says, but if he wouldn't have passed away, would he have been worse? And you're like, clearly not. That just refutes everything you just said prior to that about George Floyd, the person, being worse for society than Destiny. Now you're going to backtrack again.